they do one race and it's done and dusted. We could be looking at up to 3 games in a row here, and we have just begun the first game.
Let us go.
So, it's perfectly possible that one player could get the first game by quite a wide margin, but it's not unreasonable that the second player could manage to mentally recoup and then take the next 2 games in return. Because I believe that is what happened in Ethmar's last match. He's already done it once against Tommy. He can do it again.
Yeah. Coming up on the Cityscape after this little boarding section here, nothing really too much to see. We'll be having a City Escape skip, which is a very, very difficult trick to land.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something that could either put one of the runners, 30 seconds ahead or 30 seconds behind. It might just be even.
Yeah. Remains to be seen as well whether either runner is going to attempt it more than once. Seraphim is not. See, Ethmar is going back for it. He wants at least one solid attempt. So, he's got the ramp jump, and he has to skip. Okay, advantage Ethmar. This is definitely good for him. He has the bad camera, which is caused by taking that ramp with as much speed as possible, but I believe he knows how to deal with it. A lot of runners look at how to play this rail section with this inverted camera, specifically to deal with this situation. Because you cannot fix this camera without hitting a specific positional trigger, either at the bottom of the area here or going back to the very top of the staircase. So Ethmar just needs to make his way preferably cleanly through truck section, and he is going to be sitting on what is going to be a comfortable 30-second advantage, as we said. That, of course, doesn't mean that it's going to be impossible for Seraphim to make that up. One of the elements of this game is quite a heavy RNG element. We're going to see first Sonic's first boss, Bigfoot, but after that it goes straight into Knuckles' first stage, Wild Canyon. And if you've never really seen runs of this game, you're going to see exactly how the Knuckles stages can force a bit of a time variance between the runners.
It's
struggling a little low.
Yeah, it's the very hard section. I don't blame him, honestly. The truck section is probably one of the hardest, if not just the hardest in general, section of City Escape to do very well. You generally don't see where you're going, and you have to spin dash over these hills that you're not really able to look at, and it's just kind of a mess, and getting it down pat is really difficult.
Yeah, and each singular hill that you fail to stick to does cost a noticeable amount of time. Ethmar's struggling a little with Bigfoot, actually. The camera isn't particularly favourable in this fight since it does focus on the boss, and the collision around these boxes is a little less than friendly. So he's losing a few seconds here, but still a very sizable lead that he has over Seraphim.
So are you ready for IL pieces from Ethmar?
I mean, we all know the saying within the community, so it's possible.
Yep. There's a bit of a joke. Ethmar's actually a really, really good player, but we like to tease him, because he can be a bit silly sometimes. And
this guy with the free cheese looks like it's true.
It is true. The saying goes, Ethmar's not good, just lucky. And he's got some really good first 2 pieces, and let's see what his, I guess third and first. Wow. Oh, this is a close one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Seraphim got beginning room though, so okay. All right. Where are we at? Is Seraphim gonna manage to claw back some time? He does have the far variant of Sandy Path, so it's not very favourable, but this does depend on what his last piece is. It could still be in the middle. On purple, okay.
Not bad. I think he's
not
going to
be losing time though, because Seraphim's.
Nope, he saved time. He saved time over Ethmar due to one of Ethmar's execution mistakes, where he went around the stone statue storage container instead of going inside, which lost him seconds.
Seraphim's pieces were fairly spread out, but his execution throughout that stage was very solid. We talk about the Knuckles stages and how RNG heavy they are, but it's easy to underestimate how important the execution factor in those stages still is. Yep. In terms of just your ability to make decisions on the fly, it's arguably a lot more important than the Sonic and Tail stages, since in the Sonic and Tail stages, well, the Tail stages that we're just entering now, you are fundamentally always taking the same route to the end of the stage. You start at the start of the stage, you progress to the end of the stage. But the Knuckles stages are a lot more open, and there's a lot more improvisation, since you never really know which routes you're going to have to take.
Yep, and while you're talking about that, they both killed Eggman and 1. Easiest boss in the game, you just shoot him in the face and he dies. Prison Lance, a very, very movement technical stage. They're going to be hopping around all these corners, trying to preserve their momentum, because you turn with Tail from the ground, he just loses all his speed. He doesn't do that in the air. so they're going to be using that quite a bit in this stage and a bit in the others. Ethmar going for the swag shred of standing on the gate there.
Yeah, that's not exactly safe either, since Tails is prone to just like sliding backward on the gate. Like he doesn't really move with the gate.
Yeah. You can't make it back up if that does happen, though. It's just a bit tricky. Seraphim missed the gate hop. There's 2 of those in this stage. Each of them saves about 3 seconds. Just hop on a gate and skip an elevator.
Yeah, it looks like to me that currently I think Seraphim's kind of just struggling to settle in, find his feet, but a few more stages in and we'll see how he's really playing in general. Like, I think Ethmar feels quite comfortable right now, especially since he got CE skip. He'll be naturally feeling good about that, but he looks like he's playing pretty well, and he did just get a 122 checkpoint in Prison Lane, which is very nice. A slight misstep on that gate hop.
What, a mid 130?
To 135, yeah, that's pretty good.
That's a really good time.
He did just beat my goal for the stage, so there you go.
Mine too. And he beat it by a matter of 3 seconds on my end. How about you?
A few tenths on my end. I've got a high 135 in my goals.
Seraphim finishing off the stage as well with a very respectable time, only a few seconds slower with a 138.74.
Yeah, still a very respectable time. Honestly, getting anything under 140 in Prison Lane, I wouldn't be unhappy with. Ethmar having a very nice start to Metal Harbor here, successfully getting the underloop skip by spin dashing sideways off the side of that first loop, and he's coming up on Sonic's first upgrade here, the light shoes, which will allow Sonic to light dash across trails of rings. It's honestly an ability that, for the most part, is more of a liability than a gift, but there are certain parts of the game where it is helpful, such as most of Metal Harbor. Like, Metal Harbor was very clearly designed to get you used to using the light dash.
Yeah. That's something that's pretty interesting about this game's design, is that whenever they give you an upgrade... Ooh, Ethmar taking a death!
That's not a terrible death, though, because the checkpoint is only about 10 seconds back.
Right, but it's definitely going to even the lead quite a bit. I guess back to what I was saying is that the game definitely knew how to get you used to things without having to explicitly tell you through level design, which is pretty interesting. Very well, it's one of the game's strong points when it comes to level design.
So Seraphim decided not to go for the loop skip that just cost Ethmar a bit of time, and as such we are seeing the gap shorten a little bit. Seraphim seems to be just playing the safe and steady game right now. Ethmar getting a 13 flat rocket skip though, which is very nice. And Seraphim following up with the same thing. Wow, these guys.
Same frame. What a legend. Seraphim actually got a 2-second faster checkpoint though, so. On top of that death, which cost Ethmar around 14 or 15 seconds if we include the fade out and fade in, Seraphim will be clawing back a little bit of time here as well, just through sheer gameplay.
So yeah, like as I mentioned, just because one runner gets CE skip, absolutely no reason to count the other runner out, because we can see that the gap has already shortened very considerably between these two guys. This is definitely a race that we've got in our hands. I wouldn't expect to see much time save or time loss in the next segment, Shadow 1, but in the segment after that, Green Forest, it's honestly anyone's guess what could happen, because we do have a very technical skip, which stands to save up to 15 seconds, but it is very difficult, and there's no guarantee that these guys are going to get it first try. I've got no doubt they're going to go for it, but whether they're going to get it first try, we'll see.
Right, and on top of that, Green Forest is just a stage and a half. The stage is really brutal with its the way that it just handles geometry. It's very much it's like the first, or one of the first levels, and it really shows because it's a bunch of like spiky points. Well, spike is not the right word, but a bunch of hills that are very pointy and very easy to fly off of if you're just going at them. The game decides, screw you.
They are very polygonal.
Polygonal, that's a word. That's a vocabulary word. Looks like both having a little bit of a slow Shadow 1 over what they would have hoped, but both getting very similar times.
Yeah, neither of them went for the fastest strat there, but it is a strat that isn't exactly free and only saves up to a quarter of a second over the regular strat. And I say up to a quarter of a second if you do it perfectly, so yeah, it's a business decision not to go for it unless you're really confident of it.
Yeah, I think you're like the only one who goes for that.
Nah, there's a couple of other people, but I'm the only one who always gets it.
I see. Stroking your ego.
Exactly. Right. Green Forest. This, I mean, Pine has already said this is definitely a stage. That's one way to put it. It's more than just a stage. It is a run killer.
Seraphim already flying into the air, although in a pretty favorable location. If that's going to happen, that's one of the best places for it to happen.
Ethmar didn't have a perfect start himself, so this is definitely still going to come down fundamentally to the... Well, first, this loop skip. You can potentially die on this loop skip. Seraphim getting good camera there, though.
He could have gone through the wall there. That's happened to a few runners. It's pretty fun. By fun, I mean awful. That light dash is not friendly.
It's alright, I think. There's worse light dashes, such as the one that they'll be going for if they don't go for the tree run here. But Ethmar's lining up for it, and Seraphim is lining up for it.
That light dash isn't that bad. I mean, it's like Ethmar missing it. Oh, I mean, all you gotta do is have storage and then go neutral.
He did get the good light dash, and Seraphim getting a first try moonshot. That's very nice. I'm sure Seraphim would have liked to have been able to go for what we call task run there, but he didn't actually have the correct position when landing on the tree to go for it. The strat that you're able to do on the tree does depend on where you land on the tree, because you don't really have full control over Sonic while you're on that tree. So this does give Seraphim the lead. Seraphim started a good deal behind because of CE skip, but he's now a sizable amount ahead thanks to Green Forest. Like I say, these things just happen, and we are following the stage up immediately with another Knuckle stage. So, for all we know, within the next 60 seconds, who knows, Ethmar could be back in the lead.
Watch Ethmar get free Piece Cold Iron Bars.
That's... no, alright?
Well, we've already had somebody have the best possible set that can ever happen in story style in this tournament. It could happen again.
I mean, it could, but I
think,
kind of hope it doesn't.
I don't know if Seraphim got it.
Well,
no, he
he
can't
got
get
Path
it.
of the Ghost Train, so clearly he didn't.
Right. No. You can actually see it at the beginning of the stage, although it's really, really not something that's going to be...
This isn't a terrible piece one at the same time. So, yeah, these pieces, I'm not unhappy with these so far. And Seraphim has skill marks the spot, which is also on Church. So I'm sure after this piece, he may decide to climb and take the rocket over to Pumpkin.
I think it's... Okay. Oh, it looks like Ethmar is opting not to do that. Let's go Strange Station. Probably should have done that.
Oh, Seraphim's pieces are very nice. He didn't even have to go to the other mountain to get a place where you can hear the horn, which can be in 2 spots, but... Radar just quickly letting him know that he can just stay right where he is. So he's getting a 37. That's very nice. Ethmar is going to have to get an extremely good piece from here. Maybe like only Sad-Eyed Pumpkin. Yeah, I think at that point only Sad-Eyed Pumpkin could have prevented some time lost there.
Yeah, I think so as well.
And he's not getting the correct placement on when you do something bad. This is bad. When you get something bad, this will happen.
Exactly. Yeah, when you get a top of Ghost or Pumpkin, or no, neither of those, the Church piece, and when you do something bad, it can be on the bottom. Although usually it doesn't happen if it's your second piece of like Church.
I'm sure that Ethmar will not be happy with that layout at all, because I mean, I'd certainly be pretty unhappy with that layout. His pieces were fairly far apart, and then he got a third piece, which could be in more than one location. He honestly made what I think was the better guess for where it was going to be, and then the game just punished him.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the better guess, but the game will just bend you over sometimes.
Seraphim getting a very good pause hover there. Tails just picked up the booster on Seraphim's side, which allows the player to... It's meant to just slow your descent, but if you use it extremely quickly after jumping, it actually boosts your ascent a little bit. And it's not a noticeable difference, but Tails' stages are designed in such a way that you're really not meant to go any higher than what you already can. So Ethmar just exploited the same thing there, and you can get on that wait, for instance, cycle early. This is going to hopefully allow the runners to get what we call zero cycle at the end of the stage. It is the first cycle available, but it's a faster cycle than what we previously thought possible, and we don't like renaming terminology. Thus, it's just a faster cycle than the first cycle.
Seraphim seems to be on pretty good pace for getting it. Yeah, that's nice.
He's going to have to jump onto it from here, but he's still got it. Nice. He was quite conservative on jumping off the weight elevator there, but I'm pretty sure he just didn't want to end up getting walk of shame.
Walk of shame is what we call it when you have to go around and you don't get the weight elevator up. Happens whenever you just kind of mess up in certain ways, and it wastes a lot of time.
Here's hoping I did not commentator's curse that. No, definitely not. He used the puzzle to make sure that he made that, which Yeah, if you're reliable at getting pause hovers on command like that, I definitely can't blame them for doing that. It does cost a very short amount of real time, as opposed to the in-game time that we normally just time runs of this game with, but if it makes the difference between making a hover jump and not making it, it's obviously worth going for.
Yep.
I did it!
So Seraphim pulling through with a 206, which, considering no timer abuse at the upgrade, that's a very respectable time. That's about as good as you can get without delaying the timer.
Yep.
And Ethmar's probably going to be getting about the same. 206.57, what do you think? Higher or lower? And by how many tenths?
It's gonna be
206.7.
6.3.
Oh, wow, we're totally wrong.
207. Never mind, we were both wrong.
Exactly. I'm not sure about free pieces on Seraphim's end. The Quiet Mine is a stage where, during the intro cutscene, you can just look for free pieces in the stage. And Seraphim actually has a little more trouble with that than most of the runs of this game, because he's actually color deficient, so that green likes to hide from him. But I don't think he's missed anything. He won't be happy about that second piece, though, because depending on the route you take through the top room, you can see this for free, but I think he just missed the opportunity to check for it. Ethmar does have a free piece, though. I see near the wall. Slope. That's not a bad third piece for Seraphim.
Probably just missed it, honestly. It's a very, very hard piece to just wait to see. That would be a very good set if he was actually been able to see that.
Ethmar's first piece is not particularly good, though. Coming out of the ghost room again is not a very good time. But he does have a pretty nice third piece, so he is going to be saving a little bit of time here, since he doesn't have to go up to the top or do any clips. He's just running straight to that piece. 27 is a very respectable time.
Yum.
So, Route 101. I mean, there's not really too much to say about this stage, is there?
I don't know. You're gonna wiggle.
Yeah, you drive, you drift, and you keep doing that. Preferably don't hit any walls or cars, and pick up the rings in a specific order, and then boost at the right times. That's about it.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and read donations. No, that's the wrong event. This is an opportunity to see the relative time difference between our players, though, since, you know, this is a very long stage. You can just directly compare the timers between the two of them. So Ethmar looks like he's currently about 17 seconds behind Seraphim. And just as I said at the start of the race, this is absolutely still anyone's game.
Ooh, Ethmar going backwards. Let's go.
He's styling. This costs a little bit of time to set up, but it's really not much at all. And I mean, it does look cool. It also doesn't invert your controls, which is very convenient. Like, this would be a lot more impressive if it actually did invert your controls.
It's not fun. I guess we should explain what drifting does, and that's it changes like how fast Tails can go. So normally he has like a speed cap. That's like, I don't know, something like 9 or something. And then whenever you drift, that speed cap, as top speed is the boost speed, which is around 14. So it's a lot faster, almost 50% faster. So over the course of the whole stage, that really adds up.
Ethmar actually had to take quite an aggressive turn into that pit lane there, which he actually did very well. Like, we don't often like expect any particularly technical driving to need to take place in Route 101, but that honestly was not a free turn. Like, outside of managing to clip over one of the fences or deload the stage at the end by colliding with the cars as they deload, you never really expect huge mistakes to happen in Route 101, so this is never really considered a run-ending stage, and mistakes in the stage can only really cost up to seconds, but because of how consistent the stage is, runners still aren't particularly happy to have large mistakes, quote-unquote large mistakes, since they only do cost up to seconds.
Right. 215, nice.
215 is definitely not bad. I think Ethmar's going to have the same thing. Yeah, that's going to be a higher, I think, 215, maybe like a 215.7, maybe a 215.8. We'll see.
Somewhere around there. I think that's about right.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
So we are entering the real second half of the game now. I honestly consider desert stages onwards to be the second half of the game, and these 3 desert stages are definitely the most technical and demanding stages for each of the respective characters. There's a lot of hover jumping and even out of bounds stuff that happens in Hidden Base with Tails. There's just a lot of stuff in Pyramid Cave for Sonic, and then Death Chamber is definitely the most unforgiving Knuckles stage.
Yep.
I think Ethmar's going to go for full jump a little bit here. Oh, looking possible. He's gone for it. Oh no! He had it and then...
Oh my god, what is
that,
he doing, buddy?
That is honestly very difficult. Like, I have made the same mistake that Ethmar just made. I've done that a lot of times recently, where you get the first jump and you think you're out the woods because the first jump is the difficult one, and then you just miss the inputs for the second one, and you really need a good hover jump for the second one, otherwise you actually don't have enough height to make over an invisible wall later.
Yeah, I actually, as somebody who's been doing the trick since I discovered, I personally find the second jump to be significantly harder than the first. Just due to the fact that you have to do it quickly, you have to do it well, and you have to do it on reaction.
Yeah.
And all of that put together just makes it such a hard thing to execute.
Like, I think the quality of the hover that you need isn't as demanding as the first one, but
definitely not.
all those extra factors do factor in, as you just said.
Yeah, no, the first one is literally frame perfect on the unpause. Like, you have to press A on the first frame after you unpause, or you cannot do it. And it's, I believe, a 3-frame window from jump to the first pause, or to the pause. It's a very, very tight hover jump, but it has a lot more leniency in terms of being able to be prepared.
Interesting. So, Seraphim definitely had a very respectable hidden base, getting a 146 without the pole jump that Ethmar attempted, which is very nice. He did go for GC skip, which is the next best thing you can do, and in itself is not particularly easy. But since Ethmar did struggle a little bit at the start of the stage, he's coming out with what looks like a very high 151.
And still a respectable time. A lot of people who pick up the game are going to be finding themselves getting like 210s, 215s when they first start really going at this stage. So, you know, it goes to show just how much, you know, like how much they've improved since beginner level. Definitely shows how good those times really are. So it's pretty easy to take those for granted when you're just watching this and you don't actually know the game. Ooh.
Seraphim having a bit of a misstep here in Pyramid Cave. He's trying to use a backup with a what we call a geometry bounce by just spin dashing into a vertex, but he's misjudging the position of these overhanging pillars quite a bit, so this is actually allowing Ethmar to pull back quite a bit of time, assuming Ethmar does get this section right first try. Looks pretty good, and I'm sure he just needs to... Oh, okay, that, again, not my fault. I'm not responsible for this sort of thing. Commentator's curse is a superstition.
I also think it probably happened when Ethmar stream before you said that.
Maybe. Either way, the door skip here is a very big part of the stage. Seraphim getting it first try, very nice. Sometimes the collision on this door just seems to decide to be really weird and just not let you through, but both runners thankfully have got it first try. They know the positioning very well, they know exactly how to just charge and do a spin dash jump directly up, which, I mean, there is quite a few different ways to mess that up, so very nice just getting through there in one. Seraphim actually just struggling a little with his angle here. Thankfully, the checkpoint is just before, like right here, just before he went up, so it's not the worst death he could have taken. It's better than dying at the end of the stage, which is a distinct possibility.
Yeah,
but
Ethmar got it first try though, giving him the lead. What that is, that's called a gravity bounce. Basically, when you're at an angle and you have enough speed, you can keep that angle, like even through the sky. So the bounce bracelet gives us that speed, so we can just maintain that angle to be the downward angle, and we can just go across the sky. That's going to be used later to do some pretty interesting stuff as well. You also saw super bounces where you want to explain those, Draco?
What?
You want to explain super bounces?
Yeah, you bounce before you hit a wall, and then it converts all of your horizontal momentum into vertical momentum. It's like just because, I mean, remember all the times you've thrown a ball against a wall and then it just goes straight up? It's that.
I don't think that's ever happened to me.
Exactly like real life physics. But suffice it to say, Ethmar will be very chuffed with how that Pyramid Cave went, and even though he has taken the lead by quite a considerable amount, once again, straight back into a Knuckles stage. I did mention it's like the most difficult Knuckles stage, so the lead could easily change, especially because Ethmar has one of the worst first pieces you can run with, and he's just deciding to go with it. He's taking a death, so he may get a lucky respawn. Okay, maybe.
Seraphim doing them sick nasty death strats. Oh my god.
This is questionable what Ethmar is doing from Green Room. Using these death strats to hope for a blue respawn piece is considerably less likely when doing it from the Green Room than from the Blue Room.
Right.
And both runners are just sitting around waiting for a free piece. Ethmar is going for fire down since it's relatively close by. They're going to reach their second pieces at about the same time. Well, Ethmar is taking a bit of a detour to get the switch, so Seraphim pulling a little ahead, but this really just depends what the third pieces are.
Looks like they got it actually at just the same time. Looks like a little bit of trouble.
Seraphim can clip for this. I think he's forgetting what to do. What's Seraphim doing?
Ooh, monitor clip. You don't see that often.
What is Seraphim doing?
I think he's crying.
I think he maybe just forgot where this piece was.
I think he might have legitimately forgot where Girl's chases. It happens. I mean, it's a piece that you usually just die.
That was. Oh no,
Eggman was
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I was wondering why he didn't just immediately clip on the door and just go left.
I think he probably
was
made a mistake.
a very uncharacteristic memory lapse on Seraphim's part.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Definitely.
is perfect.
Looks like Seraphim had, I'd say, better RNG than Ethmar did in that stage, but Ethmar had a lot better execution, especially with that monitor clip. That monitor clip is
like we always assume at the top level that like the times that runners are going to get in the knuckle stages, they're all like theoretical. We're going to assume that the movement is good between the pieces and that the runners know where all the pieces are, but that is still an assumption to make, that it's not always going to be the case that the movement is good or even that the runners remember where all the pieces are. It can cost a significant amount of time to have a memory lapse like that. And so runners practice the knuckle stages as much as they do, not just to obviously improve their movement, but to make sure that those memory lapses happen as infrequently as possible.
Yep. And Boom Boo here, you saw both of them go for a different strat. Neither of them got it. It's called Fireball Skip. You'd actually get to skip the phase with fireballs are thrown. But in the end, they ended up missing it and had to do it normally. This is just hold an angle and punch. It's an up left angle, pretty much akin to GameCube notch. And we got a Golem, who's the worst boss in the game.
Ethmar, I personally think, is one of the better super bouncers in Egg Golem, so we're going to see how this goes. He's struggling a little bit, but he's now at his first bounce. It's the same super bounce tech that was used in Pyramid Cave, where you simply have to bounce before you hit a wall, but you can see that these platforms are very narrow, so getting the bounce input before you collide with the far wall, it's pretty demanding. It's about a 5-frame window after you release the spin dash. And that is an extra A and then B input to get that bounce off. So this isn't simply a case of dashing towards the wall and then jumping. Like, that's what it looks like to be. What? Oh wow! Seraphim went between the in the joint between those two platforms.
That's
the game is just really trying to prevent Seraphim from pulling it together right now. I kind of feel bad for the guy right now.
That was something else. It looks like he's gonna have a
You can still get this last hit, yeah. He obviously wouldn't have intended to get hit there, but it didn't cost anything, thankfully.
Nice try, Rock.
Looks like a little bit faster by 1 second. I also think he didn't have any restarts. If I was paying attention. We got a Eternal Engine. This stage, we're gonna play half of it, and then we're gonna stop playing it and just fall.
Essentially, yeah. Playing the first part of it is very important though, because, I mean, you know, standard speedrun fare, we want to go quickly, but this is a stage where you need to go at least minimally quickly, since just like Mission Street, this is a very cycle-based stage. The runners are basically going to be playing about the first minute of the stage as quickly as possible, and then they'll be coming up on the room where the clip art will be performed to skip the rest of the stage, but there is a cycle to meet before that, which can cost the best part of like 8 to 10 seconds. Both of them look pretty good right now, though. They've both got their own approaches for doing particular parts of the stage, like that switch room that Seraphim was just in, but they look pretty good for first cycle pace, in my opinion. Ethmar opting to go for the weight switch, which is a good decision. You can choose to avoid that, but it's questionable if you don't need the time save, and with a 104 check, he definitely didn't need the time save. Seraphim doing the same thing. He really doesn't need like the extra half a second to save when not going for that.
Right. So we're coming up on the clip out. We're gonna see if Ethmar gets the first try. And nope.
Struggling a little with his hover timing there, it looked like, since if you're going to use... There, he got it second try. You can see that like Tails slides towards the corner quite slowly, and the Dawn needs to push you out right as you reach the corner. Like, Seraphim just got it first try there, but it can be a little difficult to gauge with when to end your hover to start sliding towards there.
Now we're just gonna fall to the end.
Yeah, like by any other measure, they look like about dead tied, but Ethmar is still good, I'm going to say about 15 seconds ahead. I
think because he missed the clip out, it's a little bit less. I think he's probably more along the lines of 10 seconds.
We'll see. He does need to make sure not to miss the goal ring. Yeah, Seraphim's actually... Yeah, Seraphim's quite a bit closer than I thought, wow. Definitely no one is out of the woods yet, neither of these guys.
Let's see what fade out happens for Ethmar so we can time this when the emblem. How about that?
I gotta do better next time.
49.
And so, for like the millionth time, I think, in this race, I'm just going to repeat what I've said. Oh, yeah, these guys have been switching the lead, but we got a Knuckles stage, so there could be a different leader after this. This is the last Knuckles stage as well. Meteor Herd is by far the largest Knuckles stage, but it's also very open, very easy to move through, so there's a much greater emphasis on just hoping for good RNG in this stage. Like, the movement is still important, but it's less so than the previous Knuckles stages.
Yep.
Seraphim not getting the best first piece, but Ethmar himself didn't get the best second piece, so there's definitely still remains to be seen. If Ethmar gets center of a square shadow, commentator's good? No, okay.
Oh, he died! Seraphim died! Seraphim died!
Getting... Even just going through the stage without a ring is, in itself, relatively unlikely, because it's difficult to accidentally not grab a ring on the first platform, so then to not grab a ring and then actually get hit, that's really unfortunate on Seraphim's part. Again, the game is just... It's punishing him. Some SA2 giveth and SA2 taketh. That's all I can say.
Yep.
Knowing Seraphim, though, if there's one thing that the guy can do, and practice is doing a lot, it's hitting CGSS. And I trust Ethmar to hit it a little less, so we could still see a turnaround. CGSS is the big bad trick of the run, which is going to be in Crazy Gadget after this Rouge fight that Ethmar is on, so stay tuned.
Yeah, this is perfect.
So tell us about this fight then, Piner.
So this fight,
It's over.
yeah, but we're gonna have another one. Basically what you do is you run up to Rouge and you handstand on her. When you're in the air, her AI basically just doesn't attack you. So usually what you want to do is optimize your air time, but a lot of runners just mash it.
Yeah, like, it can work. I prefer to time it as Pine was saying, but either one works as long as you just don't mix up your inputs, since if you press the B button on the ground, then you're just gonna punch it. And that doesn't particularly work very well.
Right.
Get away from my
Ethmar is coming up on the aforementioned skip though. Like, the entire race is kind of like... I don't really want to say this, but like, any race can potentially be a prelude to who gets CGSS first. Ethmar definitely has a sizable advantage. He can afford to miss this a couple of times and still be in the lead, but the nature of this skip, sometimes it just happens that the runners just really struggle to get it. We're going to see. He is out of bounds, so he just needs to hit the goal ring now. And position is looking good. He's high. Oh, okay, maybe not. He almost overshot though, so yeah, this is looking like game one could definitely be Ethmar's game so far. There's a couple of spots that he could mess up, but that is definitely the hardest part out of the way.
He could die on FR, and Seraphim doesn't have too much of a chance like to avoid missing this because
he is out of bounds first try as well though. So now that Seraphim's out of bounds, I will be surprised if he misses the goal ring. Like, I think he personally thinks as well that the out of bounds is the hardest part of the trick, and yep, he's in. 2 first try CGSS is very nice from our guys.
Ethmar not going for the AM and F strat, and I do not believe Seraphim will either.
He doesn't need it. He can still get 14s without it. Look at that, 14-4-4. This kid knows what he's doing.
Oh. good at video games.
I mean, it's a strat. It works.
Yes.
Seraphim could save like 0.4 of a second over what Ethmar did if he's perfect, but that's a big if.
Alright, so this is... I don't have the list yet. Ethmar could die in Final Rush. That could happen. That is a possibility. That could occur. He could also die in Shadow 2. There's also a possibility that could occur.
Seraphim
doesn't die. Oh, Seraphim dies on...
Yeah, once the Eggman fight gets out of control, it can be pretty difficult to actually recover and get it back under control, because he just starts circle strafing you. If you accidentally punch him, then he ends up really far away and probably fires a laser in your face, which you then can't avoid. Like, there's a lot of things that can go wrong in this fight.
Oh boy.
Come on, Seraphim, you got this. There we go.
Okay, you got it.
There we go. Ethmar, meanwhile, is cutting out a lot of Final Rush, which, I mean, it's faster, obviously, and a lot of runners are definitely happy to be able to not play Final Rush, since if you do the stage skipless, it is quite a technical stage with a lot of rails, and even though rails are one of the better coded mechanics in this game in general, there's still quite a bit of weird stuff that can happen with them.
I'd honestly disagree with that statement about them being well coded.
Nah, once you're on a rail, it doesn't misbehave.
Yeah.
Like, getting onto a rail, there's a million things that can go wrong, but once you're on the rail, it always does what it wants to do.
Unless you're trying to rail switch, and then sometimes you just kind of like don't.
Mm-hmm. Well, that would come under the part of getting onto the rail then, wouldn't it?
I guess that's fair. Yeah, looks like Ethmar did not die in front of us.
Yeah, this is looking very likely like it's going to be a 1-0 result for Ethmar. It's possible that Shadow could magically start trolling him to an incredible degree, but honestly, runners at this level, they all know how to get the Shadow fight under control. Like, it's possible for the Shadow fight to start to get out of control, but damage control is a big part of this fight, and I think Ethmar knows what to do here, if such a thing would happen. He's got the first hit fine though, so he just needs to get 4 more hits, and there is quite a rhythmic setup to help with this. He's got a bad... Yeah, okay, he had a bad platform position though, but that only costs a few seconds. Just needs 1 more. There it is. He's got game 1 under his belt.
There it goes. Just as Seraphim finish it up, Final Rush.
Mm-hmm.
37-12, good time.
If it's a clean Shadow fight from Seraphim, then it's looking like it's going to be probably a very low 38, like a 38 OX, maybe a 37-59. I'm never good at estimating these intermediate cutscenes.
Yeah, it's usually like 40 seconds. Or it's like 30 seconds after the results.
Oh, it's going to be a 37-59. Watch this. Seraphim, don't make a mistake. Don't make me look silly. He's going to get the sub 38. It's true.
You gonna do it?
It happened! I told you! I told you! That was the thing. It's true.
That's ridiculous.
Sub 38, what a legend. Man, I wish I was good at something other than the bosses in this game.
File select.
So, it's like, where do we stand right now? Ethmar is 1 up, and Seraphim wants to remain in contention, then he needs to pull out the A game now, and he needs to bring back 2 games in a row. It's definitely not beyond Seraphim, but really remains to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah, game 1, Ethmar. So,
Indeed.
not over yet, but definitely a start for Ethmar that's pretty favorable.
Yeah, he definitely won't be unhappy with the way this match has started.
It's like Seraph or Ethmar might be going for some. I feel like he might be trying to do some skip lists. You know.
Whatever he's doing, I don't like it.
You just pause.
Next race should be starting as soon as possible. Like it looks like from what I can see, Seraphim is probably taking like a quick break to just recoup himself. He may be getting some water or just taking a short walk. I know he likes to do that sort of thing, and it does help his state of mind.
Yeah, especially after losing the first game, I think he's going to want to be as composed as he possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
File select. Story select.
We're going to be getting started pretty soon, hopefully. Yep.
There we go. Nice call. All right, game 2. Hopefully we're going to be seeing a bigger and better race from both of our guys. I'm rooting for Seraphim to take this back because I would just, at the very least, regardless of who's going to win, I would definitely like to see this go all the way.
Mm-hmm. And also, you know, whoever wins here is going to, you got to play them.
Exactly. That is the truth.
Draco Dan is the finalist, well, one of the finalists. He's the only finalist, and he will be racing himself, and he will be both the commentators.
Exactly. Yeah. Basically, I'm going to stream.
Congrats.
Yeah, both of these guys are... I mentioned this is a semi-final match, so both these guys are competing for a spot in the finals. Ethmar with a double CE skip, and triple CE skip, because why the hell not? With
Oh,
two
baby, that's
rounds
triple.
to go. This is a metagame race right now. Sure.
Yep.
Both our guys... Look at this sync. Well, okay, Seraphim's got a little more speed, but they both handled the bad camera very nicely there. So, definitely no advantage Ethmar this time, which is the best start that Seraphim could have hoped for. Well, I mean, the best start he could have hoped for was for Ethmar to miss, but in terms of how Seraphim's playing, this is a much better start than last time. This truck section looks a lot nicer as well. I don't think there's any hills that's been missed, apart from maybe like the first hill, which is not particularly reliable thanks to the position. 127 against a 129. Advantage Seraphim, not advantage Ethmar this time.
Let's go. Hold up. Let's see.
Too
I
easy.
think Seraphim might be on PB base.
I mean, I would say for both guys, this is a potential PB pace right now, the City Escape aside. Just because it's not like a low 120 City Escape doesn't mean that this couldn't potentially go on to be a PB.
That's fair.
I'm out of here. Finally decided to show up, eh? Okay, bring it on.
Monitor Bigfoot reporting to headquarters. Intruder has been located.
Copy that.
What both of our guys doing on Bigfoot? Last time, Ethmar had a bit of trouble with this, but looking clean this time. Yep, both of our guys with very clean Bigfoot fights there. Seraphim with a high 21, and Ethmar with a low 21. So a very slight amount of time sliding towards Ethmar's end, but it's pocket change, honestly. Wild Canyon, though, this is looking like potentially could be a lot more time between the players, and both players getting a free piece at the very start. Wow.
Nice, nice.
Seraphim does have suspended ceiling, though, so he's definitely making a journey, a bit of a voyage for his piece. Hopefully he gets a better third piece to balance it out. Okay, maybe not. Center the 8 pillar. Because that's what we all want to see after being a suspended ceiling. Oh, man.
Yuck.
A 22 and a 26. Yeah, that's bittersweet. I mean, a free piece is a free piece, but then those other 2 pieces are the other 2 pieces.
Yeah,
Right.
this is perfect.
Exactly. So yeah, Eggman, shoot him dead.
That's essentially, yeah, there's a surprising amount that this guy can do to troll you to waste some seconds, but by and large, this certainly isn't a fight that you should lose.
Indeed.
Prison Lane we have definitely seen once before, but it is a redo. Either runner could, I mean, deaths can happen in this stage. This isn't a risk-free stage. Right here, this elevator can give a little bit of grief, and by that I mean it can just force you off to the side if you don't make the jump, which can happen sometimes because the collision in this game is, how you say, very reliable. But both runners look like they're having a pretty good prison lane.
Yep, both getting the gate hop.
Yeah.
Having pretty darn good movement. 38 elevators, very, very respectable.
Ethmar almost a second over Seraphim's start here, so we'll see how this continues to progress. He's making a little bit of a mistake there where the checkpoint was, but again, it's all like pocket change. What these guys are definitely going to be focusing on more than anything else is just playing a consistent game. I don't know if Ethmar is going to want to take some extra risks to try and save time to just bring the match to a close with a second win, or if he's just going to try and play solidly in the hope that he just still overall plays better than Seraphim.
You know,
Either strategy has its pros and cons.
123, 125.
Both, honestly, nice times. Ethmar's looking like this is probably going to be another 135. Seraphim, meanwhile, missing that second gate hop. Though Ethmar did also bonk on the final door, so
So does Seraphim.
Seraphim following suit. So they both made a little mistake there, and that did cheat Ethmar out of another 135.
That was easy.
Alright, Metal Harbor, don't do it. You did it last time to Ethmar, don't do it again.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, Seraphim could be grateful for the time save, so you never know. Well, it's not doing it so far, and even though we're only like 15 seconds into the stage, there have already been plenty of opportunities for the stage to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single spot in this stage where it can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, first light dash can do it. Hopping around there can do it. That light dash can do it. You can just be slightly misaligned. Pulley skip can do it.
Hey,
This spin dash jump can do it.
you overlooked that even the first underloop can do it.
Yep. for those who don't get it, you don't know what it is. It's dying. It's not good.
The death, yeah. It can give you the death.
Give all of them.
Those beetles can do it. This rocket platform can do it. I don't think this cutscene can do it, but maybe there's a way to crash the game. I'm not sure.
I mean, the game crashed the game.
Well, no, I actually lied. There was, I did see a clip just today where I forget who it was that posted it, but someone managed to softlock when releasing the rocket handle.
Oh my god!
That cutscene can do it.
Wait, hold up. I'm actually really curious if they were using spade tools beforehand. That could be the culprit.
I don't think so. They didn't get an immediate rocket handle release, so they were like at the top of the pipe that you land in, and they just landed on part of the structure and just got stuck.
Barely made it.
Hold up. That sounds like Dreamcast M5.
That sounds like Sonic Adventure 2, I think.
That too. Well, that could actually be faster. If you could do that and not get stuck.
There he is, yeah. Moster in the chat. He is the man, the myth, the legend. He managed to softlock in a cutscene that's meant to be an auto-scroller. Congrats, dude.
Congrats. But did you use the save stating tool beforehand? Because I'm actually really curious.
You'll have to ask him.
Yeah, I'm asking him.
Meanwhile, we are going to have to see how these runners do in Shadow 1. It was, I believe it was relatively clean last time, but this boss can do it as well.
Oh, that makes sense, Anvar. Yeah, this boss can do it.
It's the light dash that you really need to worry about in this boss, though, so honestly, the most important part of not dying in Shadow 1 is the positional awareness more than anything else. Like, it's very easy to tunnel vision on Shadow and just be like, oh, I'm gonna get the storage hits and kill him, but if you forget that you're close to a ring, then that's when you start having problems.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow, what are you doing? Hurry and get back here right now before the island blows up with you on it!
Blows up?
So last time, Green Forest was quite interesting. It was quite a bit of a contrast. Though Ethmar did win the first race, he certainly didn't have the better end of Green Forest. Like, I mean, the start of Seraphim's last run was very strong, and then it just seemed to peter off a little in the second half. But as I say, the first half was very strong, and that included getting the moonshot on the tree. Let's see if he can make it 2 for 2, and let's see if Ethmar can also do that as he gets there. I'm not sure if Ethmar goes for Task Run if he's in the position to do it. That is not getting the mini wall run, but it still worked out. Wow.
Nice. Yeah, this level can just kind of like fling you into the air, be mean.
So let's see. Okay, well, yeah, Ethmar making sure to get the checkpoint there. Definitely a good business decision there, I would call it, since the loop speed that he just got there, which didn't fling him onto the tree, it just flung him to the next spring instead. There are lots of different angles you can get there, including ones that just fling you straight into the water. So you really want the checkpoint there. Seraphim just making Moonshot again, so once again, Seraphim is just consistently getting the better end of the Green Forest, which will really help his pace in this race.
Definitely.
Like, the tree run isn't a major skip, but honestly, even though it doesn't save like 30 seconds like the other major skips do, I would say, if anything, it's definitely a big confidence booster to be able to land that.
Yeah.
It's one of the most difficult tricks in the run, so being past there, the runner can to some point just think, well, I've got that out of the way, and I can just not worry too much for the immediate future.
Yeah, and this is an incredibly good run for Seraphim. This could end up PBing for sure.
Definitely.
We're coming into Pumpkin Hill, which is a stage and a half. RNG is a cruel mistress, and will be
Ethmar definitely found that out last time.
Yep.
Sure feels haunted. There's no
So we're gonna see what how well it treats him here. Let's see with Ethmar. Like double containers.
This could be good. This is very good.
Ooh.
Wow. Very nice on Seraphim's end. Last time the game was really trying not to let Seraphim save any time with RNG, and this time it's looking like it's being quite a bit more friendly, because double containers can potentially be a very bad piece, but it gave him the best possible location there.
Turn if it doesn't turn yummy.
Not a bad
Very
first
good
piece
so
itself.
far.
Both of these Pumpkin Hills are not awful so far, I swear.
It's gonna be a good
Seraphim
one, but-
doesn't have the favourable one, unfortunately. So he is going to have to go over to Church Mountain. He has dived a little too low here, though. So he's going to have to find a way to ascend.
I
And
was thinking
something-
for a second when you didn't do a sword count.
Just not able to grab the piece before that train came around, though. But still with a little bit of an advantage over Ethmar.
Yep. Ethmar's catching up.
Yeah, this is
Catching up,
perfect.
but cannot be in the lead after Mission Street unless there is a cycles difference between the players. So in order for Ethmar to be in the lead after this stage, Seraphim's either going to need to miss first zero cycle or he's going to need to take a death. And I trust Seraphim to not do either. We'll see though. So as long as Seraphim plays solidly here, the lead is guaranteed for at least another 2 minutes.
He's gonna go for the upgrade weight. Nope, he did not do the upgrade weight stress. He's not optimizing for his IPT here. That's it.
Yeah, his mind's definitely on the race above all else right now. This is like a legitimate run for Seraphim because of how strong his start has been. But, oh, that is definitely a mistake. That actually does lose the cycle, I think.
No,
Or-
he's still
no.
on cycle.
Yeah.
He would definitely would have if he had done the upgrade weight, so a good
Yes.
call on his part.
That's true, yeah. And yeah, one of the many reasons that I say that we have been saying if you want to worry about the RTA, then saving time at the upgrade like that by freezing the timer, it can cost you those platform cycles if you then go on to make a mistake after that.
Yeah. Well, when we say upgrade weight, basically, that is, we wait at the upgrade and we wait a few seconds past that. The timer is frozen during that time, so IGT isn't counting, but all the cycles are still running. So you still gotta execute exactly like the same play.
I don't think Seraphim's going to make this.
No. Oh my gosh!
Oh my god!
Oh, that might have been a frame perfect unpause.
I'm not sure, but it was very, very good, whatever it was.
Yeah, that was.
Wow.
Man, that was good.
These guys in the chat saying I shouldn't commentate because I ruin everything, but I mean, I caused that successful hover jump, clearly. You guys need to trust me a bit more.
Ethmar going for that half cycle instead. We got a bit of time there. It's definitely nice to play it safe.
That was super good, getting that cycle. I can't really... If you don't run this game and you don't try those hover jumps yourself, you do not know how close that was. I was not convinced that he was making that cycle once he started going around the back.
Oh yeah, no. There is very few hover jumps that would have let you make that.
That was a little tough.
That was incredibly good.
Yeah,
but yeah, hover
Seraphim
jump.
is playing his heart out right now.
Yep.
He knows he needs to make this one matter.
Definitely.
All I can hope is that the RNG does continue to help him. So let's see, free pieces? I don't see any. Yeah, I don't see any. There are still some free pieces that he can get up top, and he does have a green ping, so he won't be bothering to check the hint at the start. Come on, game.
Other than a minecart, good first piece.
It's not bad, no.
It looks like he got good.
Probable Ghost Room second piece, though. Or
top room. If you really
one of the
want to
few
go.
second pieces he could have gotten that he couldn't check for, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, third piece, probably either in the Ghost Room or Stair-shaped Brick Room, I want to say.
Very rough.
Ethmar did get a quote-unquote free piece. Because he did still, I think, get a hint for that piece. I didn't actually quite see. Seraphim's still coming up with a 37, though. Not awful.
Yeah.
And Ethmar is actually exiting the Ghost Room without a hint, but he has a ping, so this is either in the top room or in the center room. And
I think what happened was that the hint wasn't
It's in the top.
activated.
so he's just progressing hintless. This is probably behind a square tree. Yes,
Yep.
it is. So, not bad.
The president must be over there. Let's go.
Who's on PvPs? Are they asking if Seraphim's on PvPs?
Like, hintless Knuckles play isn't something you see too often in this game, but it is quite a useful skill to have to be able to judge which piece you have just based on the radar distance, because though you try to pick up the hints to see where your pieces are, if you get a piece like very, very quickly after picking up a hint, then the hint monitors do actually have a cooldown. So there are situations where you can be waiting around for a hint monitor to become active. So in those situations, if you already have a ping and if you can tell which piece it is just based on the radar, there's no reason to sit around to wait for the radar, for the hint monitor to become active again.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very nice skill to just be able to pull out. This is Route 101.
Seraphim is having a really good Route 101 actually. This is like very, very fast. You wouldn't think Route 101 is not typically a stage where we comment on how well the player is doing, but this is just very good right now. $118? Almost 119.05 for lap 2. That's still very good.
Almost, Sonic. Just a few more minutes.
He doesn't have a boost at the top of this hill, and I'm not sure if that was a mistake on his ring collection, because I know I would like to have a boost there.
Yeah, it's one of the least punishing hills to not have a boost. It's honestly more punishing to not have it on the long stretch.
It's not, but from watching Seraphim run this game, he is fairly critical of his own Route 101s. Like, he doesn't like losing tenths of a second in this stage.
That's fair.
He's got the important boost here, though, I like to call it, because this straightaway is quite long, and it's fairly easy to not have a boost if your ring management wasn't correct.
Okay.
Oh, that was... He gauged that quite well, because this straightaway is also very long towards the end of the stage. There are no rings or boost here, and he just made a very tight turn between a car and a wall, and so if he'd made a mistake either way there, he probably would have ended up not having the optimal speed. And given how long that stretch is, even just having a small speed difference can cause like a couple of seconds time loss in and of itself.
Yep.
A mid 214 Route 101 is definitely nothing to laugh at, though.
Yep.
And I think Ethmar's actually getting a 214 as well. I didn't realize this was an F-Zero GX tournament.
Looks like both of them are actually a good bit behind their PBs at this point due to RNG.
Still very respectable runs, though, for sure.
Yep.
And I mean, these guys, they're playing for keeps. Ethmar's playing for the win, and Seraphim is playing to stay in. Seraphim still not going for pole jump, he's just going for GC skip instead, and like, I honestly think this is quite a difficult trick. I don't think this is free at all, so hopefully, yep, he's in. Like, that corner clip is quite a bit more precise than it looks. Ethmar went for it last time, he's got it this time. It looks like that second hover was high enough to be able to make it. We'll be able to, yeah, that should be high enough. There we go. So this will help Ethmar pull back, I think, 3 or 4 seconds over what GC skip gets.
Actually, it's 2.
Oh, I see.
It's 4 skips over, or 4 skips, yep. 4 seconds over Axel.
It is 4 entire skips over not skipping the skips. Second pause hover that he can get here, looks like he's got it as well, nice to cover this large gap. Both runners, for their respective strats, having very respectable hidden bases here. Like a 50 check from Ethmar is really, really nice.
I think we might be seeing 141, 142 from Ethmar.
Possibly. We'll see. He's going for the
he's
fastest
going for-
method here, though. Well, okay.
Ooh, the recovery.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't a bad recovery. You do need a very good pause hover to get up that ledge that he just did there. So, even with that mistake, having a 110 checkpoint, that's damn good. Like, I've only had a 110 checkpoint in runs like once or twice.
Yeah, same here, honestly.
Same, to be honest.
I think we're still possibly on 142 pace.
That was
145 on Seraphim's end, which, like, again,
Oh,
considering
he missed it. Oh, okay, he's
considering no pole jump, Seraphim really had a good hidden base there.
Yeah, I think, just because he didn't knock down that platform in time, I think that's what cost him the 142.
Yeah.
143 is still insanely good.
Yeah, those were very good hidden bases. So Ethmar is just trying to claw back little bits of time where he can. And I mean, okay, Pyramid Cave was not a flawless stage for Seraphim last time. We'll see. He's been having a very good run so far, and I think he is probably in a better headspace right now.
Yeah. Most certainly.
His jumping there across that gap though, which is a little strange. But the store skip barely slowing down at all. Very nice. The geometry is actually not treating Ethmar too well there in the corner. You do need to be like hard up against the corner to actually get the vertical bounce, otherwise it does just reject you backwards, as you just saw.
Yep. Ethmar missing the...
Oh, that was an interesting bounce on the slope to gain a little more speed. I've never actually seen a runner exploit that. I'm not sure if it was deliberate on Ethmar's part, maybe it was just an accident.
I mean, Ethmar has been known to accidentally do something very good and unusual in the past. I mean, it's happened.
Maybe Ethmar should consider going for fast FR skip. Seraphim having a little bit of a hiccup with that second pit there, but he made about as quick a recovery as he could have hoped for, and he's still coming out with a 135, which, considering the pit mistake, that is very good with one major mistake.
Falling into Death Chamber on Seraphim streaming as Ethmar finishes off Pyramid Cave. Death Chamber is brutal as heck. Most brutal knuckle stage, it can just really, really ruin your... It can be rather awful, and just the piece placement can be everywhere, or it can be right next to each other.
Absolutely. Seraphim definitely doesn't have a very favourable first piece here. I'm surprised he's actually running with this. I may consider just resetting this piece, but okay.
It's got some pretty nice death pieces that can spawn in Redwood's Python, so you definitely understand that.
Like Fire Dance?
Yeah, Fire Dance, stuff like that.
Scorpions don't get along. He's just taking the death to teleport back to red.
Yep, just faster. See on the red ball, for instance?
Yeah.
Surprised he's not booty clipping to it.
Yeah, I would booty clip for this as well. Let's see
I saw that with Ethmar last time as well. And
I didn't see what Ethmar's first piece is though.
We'll see what it is.
He's taking down... Oh, Golden Goddess it must be. So I'm sure that Ethmar will probably be death striking after this piece, which means he's going to prefer to get through to the green room without picking up any rings. Yeah, he's deliberately avoiding the rings there.
There's a flame, but no light can reach there. Yeah,
That's
so
not a bad last piece.
Definitely some very good piece that can spawn with that first.
Ethmar getting a very lucky respawn there though. I did mention last time that we don't expect to get a respawn piece from the green room, but that's exactly what he just did. And now he's just able to go towards the blue core corridor and dig for his last piece.
Yeah,
So
this
is a very nice layout for Ethmar. He will be pulling back a little more time with this.
Yep. Actually, it looks about to be the same. Oof.
Oh, he missed.
That shot.
Huh? Who's there?
That was a very, very near miss then.
Yeah.
What the? A ghost?
There we go. We got Fireball skipped. That's fast.
Yeah, very nice. Seraphim's definitely playing a lot better than he did in the last game.
What a hassle.
Egg Golem is bully.
The weak point.
It's a difficult fight, yeah. Seraphim's got a super bounce on his second attempt though, and now that he has had a super bounce, he wouldn't then reset if he fell in the sand again. Like, if you haven't gotten a bounce, then it's just faster to restart when you fall in the sand. But after getting a super bounce, it's not reliable to take a restart.
That's a very good fight on. Wow. Finishing off.
Very nice second attempt from Seraphim.
Real good.
So, let's see how Ethmar follows suit.
Getting that first super bounce real well. Ooh, that second one.
This
Nice,
is another
nice.
second attempt fight like Seraphim just got. So if he gets this bounce, yep, he's still getting a one cycle fight, as I like to call it, since Egg Golem's only attacking once before doing a head smash. Ethmar just about being able to clutch out that last arm spin dash jump homing attack onto the weak spot hit. That's not what it's called.
Yes. That. And, very nice. Save a few seconds. We've got turn. It's a cycle-based stage. You go fast, you make a cycle, then you skip the rest of the stage.
That's what happens, yeah. Seraphim making sure to avoid the Chow key there. This is a race. This is timed by RTA, and visiting Chow World is not a approved speedrun strat.
I mean, you can do it. I mean, it's only approved if you're running 180. Let's be real. The best category.
This ain't a 180 tournament, though.
Man, imagine a 180 tournament. That'd be wild.
If this was a 180 tournament, the commentators would be having to take shifts. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, you're not wrong. It'd be wild. You got like you'd have to have double elim single matches where you couldn't do 2 in a row. Or you'd have to have matches span multiple days. Like that'd be nuts.
All right, let's just stop talking now about that at least.
No, I'm gonna cease speaking for the rest of the run.
Exactly. Seraphim is having a very good Eternal Engine though. Honestly, from what we've mentioned of Eternal Engine in the first race, nothing really potentially differs in Eternal Engine. It's easy to lose time in the individual corridors from just stuff not locking on properly, such as at the very start of the stage. But it's generally quite a reliable stage, and it's more about the movement, which in itself isn't particularly demanding, since it's just a lot of corners and then straightaway corridors.
Yeah. The most interesting thing about the movement in the stage is really just kind of like hovering in front of the doors to make sure that they open before you get to them. Yeah,
like the movement in the switch room with the boxes is a little difficult, but that's the most technical part of the stage for movement, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd actually have to agree with you there. Though getting a really good one on Seraphim's side, 201 is a very respectable time. Ethmar following right behind him. Ooh, it's going to be a 201 as well. Looks like a 201.
I think it could be a 2-0.
2-0! Oh, 2-0-90, let's go!
See, there you go. I'm always right, me.
Except for when you aren't.
Seraphim with Meteor Herd.
Front of the weight
Front
elevator.
of the weight elevator. This is not a particularly good first piece. It's in the middle, but as soon as you get off the rocket, you have to dive right back down, and from this exact spot, there's no easy way to get back up. Like, if he needs to go up to the top, which he does, then he needs to go right back down for this rocket. This is not a particularly good first 2 pieces for Seraphim. And honestly, there's not really any guarantee that he's going to get a good third piece either. He could get a third piece that is up here at the top, but I believe after getting the second piece, he's just going to dive straight back down, which means if he gets it, he's just going to have to come right back up again.
Yeah.
I didn't curse it, watch. See, I didn't curse it for once. Jump from the start. It is the close one, so he's going to end up with about a 50, this looks like. Again, I'm always right, look at this. When have I ever been right? Next to a mini steel beam. Seraphim's definitely... No, Ethmar is... Okay, I was wrong that time. Ethmar's definitely getting the better end of the RNG in this Meteor Herd.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be saving about 10 seconds over what Seraphim got. Okay, well, 9 seconds.
Also, I'm going to let you know, Draco, you weren't right about one thing, and that's that he could have gotten a third piece up at top after that. It's just not a thing. Those 2 first pieces.
That is ancient arcane knowledge, and we don't discuss that.
I will have my draconian piece prediction sheet open, okay?
Interesting. Alright. That's Rouge. That's interesting method employed by Seraphim here, where he's just timing when to glide in and then take the drill dives. It's like getting the best of both approaches.
This is good.
So even though Seraphim has played very well so far to, maintain the lead, this, I mentioned last race, this is where it really matters. Both runners did get CGSS first try. They made it look really elementary, really easy. It is absolutely anything but. And this is honestly the point where Seraphim needs to get this first try to secure his point and stay in this match.
Yep. And, even if he doesn't get first try, Ethmar has been kind of notorious for every once in a while he just completely forgets how to do this trick and has to like practice it for a few hours to be able to do it at all.
People who are at AGDQ 17 know exactly what the drill is with that. Even people who were just in the adjacent rooms, trust me, they knew. Seraphim is out of bounds though, so it's looking good.
Ooh, very, very nice.
He's quite close. He just needs to not overshoot. Yeah, he's stuttering his movement a little there to make sure he didn't overshoot right in the center of the ring. Like textbook CGSS, that was very nice. And Ethmar, meanwhile, is missing.
Yeah. I didn't curse anything, it's his fault. It's his fault, yep.
It's
Ethmar.
It's always my fault, apparently.
And this is exactly what I was talking about, was he just stops being able to do it. He's aiming way too high. And
yeah, the angle is just a little off. And honestly, when I say a little off, I mean it is a little bit off. The required angle for this is a lot more precise than it may seem. And even just being like a few degrees out on the control stick, you're just not going to get out of bounds.
Yep. And I said way too high. And what I mean by that is like, that is the difference between, hold on, let me do it on my joystick right now.
Seraphim's gotten 14-4-4 on Eggman 2 twice in a row.
That's like the difference, well, wow, that's great. That's like the difference between like, oh, well, that's gotta be 5 or 6 degrees that he was off.
Something like that, yeah, it's not a lot.
I'm looking here and this is like if top is 0 and right is 45, this is like a 36-degree angle. He's probably holding something like a 30 or 32-degree angle.
I think you'll find the right would be 90.
But yes,
He's still
smart.
in school, don't mind him, he doesn't do geometry.
Look, I completely forgot how circles are 360 degrees, okay? I'm bad. 90, my bad, that'd be a 70, that'd be more akin to around like a, I don't know, what did he say? Like maybe 78-degree angle? And would be proper or something. And then he was holding like a 70, 76, or not 76, my bad, 72, 70. Either way, semantics, very small adjustment. Anyways, we're skipping this stage.
Look, you can get your protractor out after this run and figure it out.
Look, I don't have one of those to me.
And that's why you fail in geometry class.
I'm not failing geometry at all. I have a solid, what do I have in geometry? I think I have a, it's either a B or an A, alright? Leave me alone.
Yeah, I am going to go with Seraphim can not still PB. Like, it's not too far off, it's relatively close, but he cannot PB with this, I'm going with. But don't get me wrong, it's a very good run.
Yeah, it's a very, very good run. Yoniman, what I was saying was that the proper angle would be around 72 degrees or 78 degrees, and he was holding somewhere around 72, so there's like a 6-degree difference in the proper angle and what he was holding, and it creates a rather drastic result in change of positioning just due to how the camera works in that section. And it's just very, very, very hard to do.
It's a very slight adjustment. Because you have to change your angle as well, that's one thing we didn't really touch on.
Yeah, that's another thing. You have to swing to a very precise angle. Although that one has a lot more leaves for swinging, and then you have to swing back at a very precise time, and that's pretty important. And the timing is huge. Timing's actually more important than swing back from the actual angle.
Seraphim closing out with a 35-22 though. Like I said that like he was playing for keeps. He was playing his heart out with that run. I was not kidding. Wow, that is a race time and a half.
Yeah, I think the only reason he didn't PB, like, I think we can chalk that up to RNG. Just, that was an incredibly well-executed run.
Probably, yeah.
Sonic, I did it.
So yeah, that was good. That's all I can say. That was very good. Even Ethmar's run, like, this is going to come out as like a low 36 for Ethmar, which is also really damn good.
Sonic!
Look outside!
Ooh.
I have the best race times there I've ever gotten.
He's just pulling out them SRL world records. It might be, depending on the... I don't know.
Depending, yeah, because there's 2 categories, Beat Hero Story and Hero Story.
There is also the category that Speed Gaming are using.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was a thing.
That is the truth.
What's that category called?
Sonic, I
I
did
think it's just
it.
called Beat Hero Story in a Speed Gaming tournament race, something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the gist of it.
That was a darn close race. I'm seeing Seraphim go and go into that third game, going all the way. See all that we've got to offer with this one race here. That's gonna
I'm
be
sure we're just waiting for the runners to reboot their games.
Yep.
So that they can get all the benefit from Route 101, and by that I mean most of a second.
Actually, rebooting their games is bad. They shouldn't do that because your bosses will load 0.5 seconds slower if you reboot it.
There you go.
So it's actually worth it in an RTA setting to continue after fighting all of the bosses. Because it adds up to more than a second. It adds up to about 3 seconds. So, good stuff. I'm gonna go eat some beef jerky, so I'm gonna be back.
Wow, I'll just hold down the fort on my own.
Thanks, I really appreciate it.
See, Eric knows what's happening.
I appreciate you holding down the fort. It really helps me out.
That is okay. We are still waiting on the third race to begin, in which it's all going to come down to that one race.
Here's out.
Ethmar clearly getting in that important Wild Canyon practice first, on hard mode no doubt, so he's going to know exactly where his pieces are.
Yep. M5 is fun.
These are the pieces he will clearly get in the race.
None of these can spawn in the race, by the way.
No.
Just get the viewers down.
23, that's not a bad set. Alright, that's an above average time.
Man, you know, he could have gotten a 19 with that set, honestly.
Come on, guys, I've got a tournament to win.
That's what you think.
It's the truth.
Well, we'll see. Hope you all like chair noises.
Think you may need to install some sort of noise gate over there, maybe?
No, it's just my chair is way too... Like, it's actually louder than my voice.
But
I
it's
have a
also-
noise gate.
It is also further away from your voice.
Only by, like, 2 or 3
Couple of feet. Yeah, that's...
is
as far as noise gates go,
right.
that's actually a
Like-
considerable distance.
No, let me tell you, like, it is, like, twice as loud as my voice. Like, it is really loud.
Stand up.
But I don't wanna... That, you know? It's loud.
Mm-hmm.
That was, it's probably, hopefully the last chair noise y'all are gonna hear. But...
So I think, looks like Ethmar is, he's just preparing his file, so presumably we'll be starting the next race right in 5 seconds. Damn it. Okay, that time I wasn't right. Man, I'm way off.
Stay out there. I'm gonna do it for you. Make a pog in the chat.
4, 3, 2, 1. Damn it! Every time.
You're not gonna do the thing.
No.
I mean, you could just keep saying now every single tenth of a second, but that'd be really annoying.
I mean, yeah. So, final predictions. Give me the scoop.
Can't tell, man. I don't know. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go with Seraphim. I'm gonna guess Seraphim.
I mean, if you're gonna go with Seraphim, I'm gonna toss my hat in the Ethmar camp.
Are you sure that I don't think you're getting that hat back? Like, I heard they like bully you there.
It's
in the Ethmar camp.
fine. I can bully far in a superior capacity, if I so desire. And we are off with the final race for tonight in this match. This is the one race to decide who is going to take a spot in the finals. Big stakes. Seraphim's already off to a worse RNG start. It's not a good sign.
I love CarNG. No.
Exactly.
Here's what's happening, right? So he's gonna judge his RNG seed. One of the 1,024 RNG seeds that could possibly happen, based off of what CarNG he got.
This
He's
sync
going to
and
end City Escape in a very specific frame to get, the next.
So
thing.
here we are. See, skip Seraphim.
Oh
no.
no! You missed
Ethmar's
it.
going back for another attempt. Come on.
It is still faster if he gets it second try. But
Ethmar.
at this rate, let's see if he gets it. Nope. Oh, that is.
This. I swear, this kid. No, I put my faith in this guy.
What you weren't getting your hat back?
Yeah. Skip plus CE is at least entertaining to see, though, and Seraphim's struggling a little with that skyscraper loop, though he is round second try.
That
So-
skyscraper loop can do some interesting things. I think I've never seen this happen to anyone else, but sometimes you can still do the loop, but it'll be smaller and you'll be stuck to the invisible vault wall on the right. It's beautiful. By beautiful, I mean disgusting. Don't understand why it happens, but it's silly. And the loop in general can just fling you everywhere.
Okay, Ethmar, don't get rail glitched. Good guy. There we go. Yeah. Seraphim was actually a lot closer than Ethmar to getting rail glitched from what I saw. If you jump off the end of that rail without holding left enough to get a rail switch jump, you can just land straight in the pit. And for a split second, I thought it might happen to Seraphim, but both players safely navigating City Escape. Ethmar getting the slightly worse end of the deal due to the time that he put into trying to get Sea Skip, but you know,
How did he?
Absolutely.
He spent like 15 seconds trying Sea Skip, and he still almost got sub 2. That's really
he's good. He's good at the game. That's what's happening.
That's insane, though. Like, I don't think you'll understand. Sub 2 alone, like, even without trying Sea Skip, is something that most runners struggle quite a bit on doing. And then upper level runners tend to be able to do it with, like, one attempt on Sea Skip, and they usually get, like, you know, a few seconds under. But, like, that was like maybe even a sub 150 without the
Something like that, yeah. It was very clean. Like he got around the skyscraper in a clean manner, and when he reached the bottom of the skyscraper, he got the fast exit as well, and just jumping off and maintaining all the speed.
Hey guys,
very
take care.
good. Ethmar finishing up Bigfoot 2. Not Bigfoot 2, but Bigfoot, as
Bigfoot
well.
2.
Bigfoot
The
2.
final boss.
The final boss. Turns out. Oh. Not a very amazing sus on either side there. Nothing too awful. Seraphim still pulling out a sub 30. Well, Ethmar pulling it B6.
I found it.
69.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, two pretty like average Valkyrians, I'd say. Between 25 and 30 is when you get in the average times. Above 30, you are really getting into the bad times, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe this can be Bigfoot too.
But he's easier than Bigfoot.
He's dead. Ethmar, with another 60. Ethmar is just getting the 69. That is this race.
And it's the truth. Ethmar has become 69.
Precisely.
But as you can see, it's still a very close race. So only 2 seconds behind. That Wild Canyon gave him quite, well, honestly, most of us behind was caught up in that second stage. Even if it was only 4 seconds of that. Anything can happen. I mean, you know, somebody could get railed in the butt. That's what we call it when you miss a jump and there's this certain rail. It throws you off the stage. It's definitely not an innuendo, I promise. Don't think. But yeah, it's a really hard stage, a lot of tight movement. What a 35 elevator. What a legend.
This guy is a baller right now. That's all I can say.
Maybe you are getting that hat back.
It's possible. He's like the chat's highlighting like he's doing a lot to just 49 checkpoints. That's a time. It's like, Ethmar is definitely doing a lot to like chip the time away and just claw back seconds here and there, but you know, we've seen in previous races the problem with just continually saving back little bits of time and gradually outplaying. All it takes is one bad knuckle stage to just say, no, you don't get to keep that advantage. It's all RNG giveth, RNG taketh.
I think this might be like a 143. Oh my goodness, this is definitely 143 pace on Ethmar's side. Or, wait, the 133, my bad. I keep saying wrong numbers. Oh, I think he's gonna get it. Oh,
This is 132.
132!
Unbelievable. That was...
What are you doing, Ethmar?
I will be surprised if that's not a gold split for Ethmar. That was insanely good.
That was actually absurd, and I don't know. It was a gold, I just checked.
That is one of the best prison lanes I've ever seen.
Yeah, same. That's probably the best prison lane that's ever been executed in a race, period.
Probably, yeah. Like, when we're not making as much fuss about that as we probably should be, because, like, yeah, that was really, really good. And considering this is a game where the stages are basically like a series of ILs, and people do a lot to try and optimize the ILs, even in like a story-style IL attempt, as we call them, that's not too far off what you would expect to see in a story-style IL.
Yeah, the only way you really get any faster than that is by doing the cast hops. Okay! How did he not die? What is
That's
this? Ethmar!
That save and this sink! It's
Ethmar!
destiny. Okay, he
Oh
got
my
trapped on the somersault barrier.
No, he didn't jump.
Oh
He's dead.
man! Seraphim's
Ethmar.
safety strat's helping him pull ahead a little bit because he is. I mean, it's a slower route, but he's still alive.
Yeah, that's what counts. Ethmar is a
He's got the jump at least. So, oh, he just clipped through there again. This race should come with a health warning. I'd say that about this game in general because this is certainly a game and a half to race and to watch races of.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, one of the most, in my opinion, my incredibly, totally not biased opinion or anything, it's definitely one of the most interesting games from a standpoint of just watching it happen at a high level. Like,
Yeah,
just,
I
especially, I gained a lot more appreciation for it after I started running the game, too. Because, try playing this level, right? I guarantee that unless you run the game, you're probably not going to be getting anything sub 140.
Ethmar, calm down. You've got a long cutscene here. Just close your eyes, breathe.
I'm going to type to Ethmar.
Breathing is the body's way of circulating the blood and getting oxygen dissolves through the cell walls and enters the bloodstream, and then it gets to the entire body.
Yep. Do not pass go. Thanks for the helpful advice, Dark Bro.
Do not collect 200 emblems because it's not possible.
I wonder if there's some way you could do that to, like, offset like what the game thinks is the completed level.
That was an interesting ending that Seraphim got.
Yeah.
There's no time to play games. You
Definitely.
don't even get the chance. I'm the cool. I see.
Ethmar getting the 11:34 shadow though. Remember when we thought that was the perfect time? Man, times have changed.
Yeah.
Like even without going for the IL strat, you can get up to 4 frames faster, I think, than that if your movement is perfect. That's what I want to say.
Something like that.
What are you
It's
doing?
good, that's what I know.
Hurry and get back here right
But
now
coming
before
up
the island
that
blows up
sick
with you on it.
prison lane.
Blows up. Got to get out of here. Find Andy and Tails. Right away.
The mushroom. Wow. Very important to pick up that mushroom, obviously.
Yeah, you gotta cuddle it too. That one's my
Seraphim getting quite a bit of airtime on that semi-wall run, which is actually unwanted, but you know he'll have been happy to have just landed that at all, I believe.
Yeah.
And are we going to see a third moonshot in a row from Seraphim?
Ooh,
It's
okay.
possible.
That was nice on Ethmar's side being able to make it up there.
Oof, this
Nice,
consistency
got the wall
from Seraphim, though. I do not approve of this. He's going to make my job pretty difficult. He's barely making that, though. That was actually a little scary. So, well done. Alright, Ethmar. Time to follow suit. There you go. He's on the tree. It's not a task-runnable wall run, but still more than enough for a moonshot attempt like this. That was that was an entertaining little run he did before charging that spin dash. That's yeah, every time I try something like that, I die, but I'm just not good enough. Going a little slow on that last corner though, but they're coming out with approximately equal level times though, so
Yeah.
not bad. 127 on Seraphim's end, a 129 on Ethmar's end.
Yeah. Nice stuff.
Huh. No problem.
So pieces. Seraphim with the man! Double ghost train, double containers for Seraphim. This is cursed or blessed, depending on your perspective.
I think it's blessed, considering it's like a good piece.
Yeah, but depending who you're rooting for. And Side-Eye Pumpkin, I believe with double containers, this can still be at either pumpkin.
Looks like it was this one though. He's not going to be able to read a hint though. Second hints have a
Not
really
immediately.
long hint
He's gonna have to
delay.
wait a little. Yeah, do something bad. Oh, okay. Well, what do you think, Seraphim? You think it's gonna be over here, or are you gonna take a second hint monitor? Because this ain't a guarantee. And oof, he's gotten lucky there.
Yeah.
It's still not a fantastic level time due to. Yo, where is Seraph? Oh, Ethmar's going for 3 Scarecrow Brothers. Interesting. That's quite
Was that
uncommon
just
to
me?
see some use the rocket at the back of Pumpkin Mountain to ascend like that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's definitely nice to have it there. Was it just me, or was Ethmar's game more purple for a bit? Was that on my end?
I
don't know.
don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
I don't know. What's that one?
I think we've seen this situation before. What was it? I mean, let's rewind it back like about 40 minutes. What was it? I was saying something like the only way Ethmar can be in the lead is if Seraphim loses a cycle here. Mission Street 2, Electric Boogaloo. Let's go.
Yeah, Seraphim hasn't missed 0 cycle a single time.
Yeah, and again, he's choosing not to use the IGT abuse. He's just going full RTA strats, getting the job done. Ethmar's doing the same here. Some very nice pause hoppers from these guys, so another potential 0 cycle pace for Ethmar here. He made a slight mistake on that one hover jump off the weight, but due to the way these cycles work, it doesn't actually cost any time, which is nice.
Looks like he wants to be whistling. Fella's having a good time whistling along. Hover jumps are broken. You just tap A twice pretty quick, and you get a lot of height.
Yes.
The game was programmed well, and instead of just making you descend slower.
Seraphim may have missed the 0 cycle from that box break. Okay, yeah. Well, he could have gone for another absolutely amazing hover jump like he did last time, but I think he's just trying to cut his losses and play a consistent game here, which, I mean...
Ethmar's totally not getting it.
Both on half cycle then, interesting. So again, this is going to mean no relative time difference between the players.
I guess back to what I was saying about hover jumps, that basically just instead of just making you descend slower, if you double tap it fast enough, it'll also make you transcend into your descent slower. So that means that you just get more height, and it's really broken. It's great.
But accounting for the difference that was already present between the two runners, the level times are going to be about equal. These are going to come out to be like 215, 216 each by the looks of it. I'm calling it 216 on his end.
How big is the 215? He gets
Nah.
a 215.
He's actually got a better 215 than Seraphim. Wow. And by
It looks
better,
like
I mean it was better by 3 whole frames.
Oh, wow. Looks like he has tiny movement
That
at
was
the
a
end.
little tough.
Alright, if there was ever a time for RNG to make a difference, this certainly seems like an apt opportunity for it. I can't see a free piece on Seraphim's end, and he doesn't have a ping. It's not resetting, because In an Oven definitely doesn't warrant a reset. Since it wasn't pinging, he knows which one it's going to be as well.
Yep. That one.
Oof, this is not a good second piece at all. And Ethmar's got his free piece, so it's the start of the turnaround. Yellow ping, that's going to be in the ghost room. Chase the... Wow, these pieces.
Oh my god, Chase the Skull's well as better, but not nearly as good positioning.
Ethmar is just currently saying, gimme that time save. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Not good, just lucky. You know what they say.
They both got Chase the Skull.
Yep.
Yeah, this is perfect.
26 versus a 43 though, like that's... Yeah, these knuckle stages are serious. Like, it's no joke the amount of time that a piece combination can make a difference of. We did mention, we've already mentioned previously that Route 101 is really not a stage where you'd expect to see a big time swing, so barring some sort of catastrophic mistake from Ethmar, he is going to have the lead for at least until Hidden Base. And both of our guys have been playing Hidden Base very well today. So if they continue in that consistent manner, it's like going to be probably another Pyramid Cave race, and of course, that allowing, it's just going to put them straight back into who gets the better Death Chamber.
Which, you know, anyone's game. Nobody seems to be doing any of the backwards driving ever since the first race when Ethmar did it, but there are still opportunities to do it. Still be cool kids, as the kids are saying nowadays.
I don't think that's what they're saying.
Are you sure? I haven't talked to some kids in a while, so I don't know.
I'm not sure if Seraphim was going for a particular ring route there, but I think he would have liked to have had boost a little earlier than he did there. But Route 101 being what it is, no difference is really made by mistakes like that. It's tenths of a second, if anything.
I think Seraphim avoided the walls there. Either that or he hit one and I didn't see.
He may have just slowed down slightly before taking that corner.
Yeah. Could have been it.
Like, I'm really not sure which is faster, to have full speed and hit the walls to get around the U-turn, or to slow down so that you get around it cleanly. I'd have to ask Geek, I think.
Let me just go watch ID Geek 121's IL.
This is definitely, I think this is looking like a 214.3 from Seraphim. Another, like, very good Route 101 from him. And Ethmar's already finished, so he definitely wasn't slouching either.
Yeah.
215.3 on Ethmar's end, and have we got the 214.3 for Seraphim? 0.2, even better. Wow. Getting really close to that 213.
Looks like ID Geek 121's IL bumps the wall.
Interesting.
Going into Hidden Base. This is one of my favorite stages. Very, very interesting technically. A lot of interesting hover jumps that let you do a lot of cool stuff, break the level in a lot of different ways.
So I'd like to revisit what I've already said earlier in the match. Definitely the most technically demanding set of stages back to back. So our guys are going to have to be pulling out all the stops here. Ethmar once again going for a pole jump in Hidden Base to save a couple of seconds over Seraphim, who also got GC skip again. So both our guys with their respective Hidden Base strats just in first try with no problems, and it's just a straight run to the end now for both of them. Oh, Ethmar making a little bit of a mistake there with his hover jump timing though.
A little bit of rough of a coming back as well. Trying to hop over.
That's an interesting recovery, so he doesn't have to deal with the doors.
Yeah, it's nice, but it's hard, so... I definitely gave Seraphim a bit of a chance to catch up, and they're neck and neck once again.
Absolutely, yeah. Come on, going for the fastest method. He needs that door to break. There we go. Getting some very nice, precise hover jumps from both our players off that very narrow door. It's a lot more difficult than it looks, and the collision in this game can do a lot to try and not help you out. They're actually maintaining pace like extremely well, because there was a 1 second difference between their previous checkpoints, and then there was a 1 second difference between that checkpoint as well, so wow.
I think Ethmar have gotten oh, the death!
Oh, Seraphim! This... Okay, it's not the worst, but it's certainly, you know, far from the best either.
Of all the deaths that are possible to really take, that's probably the least punishing.
I mean, you can die directly after the checkpoint, but that's not very likely.
Well, yeah, I mean, in a speedrun setting, you're not going to just suddenly hold full right unless your controller messes up.
Yeah.
That was a little tough.
So, wow, this is definitely a gift for Ethmar. Whether he's going to invest that gift, we'll have to see. He could just as easily, you know, return that time loss in Pyramid Cave. We'll just have to see.
Very, very, very difficult stage, so anything can happen. I mean, we've already seen one death here today, and nothing's stopping us from seeing another.
Honestly, the thing that I'm worried about right now is we mentioned a little bit about these guys' separate mentalities and just head games. The thing that Seraphim really needs to focus on right now is not letting that death bother him. Like, he made a mistake, it happens to everyone, he just needs to put it away and not let it cloud his judgment and his emotional state.
Yeah, he got a 12 check, I mean, so if that's a sign, it's a good one.
Yeah. It's definitely as good as he could hope for. It's quote-unquote possible to get an 11 check, but you're basically never really going to see it in a race like this.
We should just get a Sinister Taco to race, and then he could do it.
Or V-Man, either or.
Yeah, that would too.
Both of our runners definitely making short work of Pyramid Cave so far, though. Ethmar is coming up on Snake Skip, and this gave Seraphim a bit of trouble in the first race, but he's got it no problem.
Ooh, getting grabbed with the ghost. Ethmar got a 104 check, which is very notable because that's really, really good.
It's pretty not bad, yeah. I'd be happy with anything that's like under a 105 for that checkpoint. Ethmar struggling a little with that super bounce. It's a little awkward to get that since the slope can affect the sort of interaction you get. And okay, he...
Oh, there it goes!
my
There it is!
man.
The death! The death! Hashtag Team Seraphim.
I, once again, am not responsible for these things happening, despite what people insist on saying.
Seraphim gets it first try.
So, like, against all the odds, Seraphim is the one with the advantage coming out of Pyramid Cave. Like,
Oh, 133. That's
it's a real shame, because like that death at the end of Pyramid Cave is one of the worst you can really take in the course of a run.
Yeah, it's a whole 30 seconds.
Ethmar, that is risky. Okay.
Yes!
Okay, just calm down. Everything's... it's fine. These things are allowed to happen. Nobody
Everything
panic.
will be okay.
That's
Barely made it.
one way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
Seraphim has got Golden Goddess in the green room. Ethmar had that in one of the previous races. Ethmar did manage to get a very good respawn out of this piece, but will Seraphim do the same thing? He's trying for it, and he hasn't got it. I don't think he'll sit around and wait for a piece here. Yeah, he's just carrying on, because he knows that it's less common to get a respawn piece from green.
Very
So-
surprised he's not booty clipping to this one.
Well, he may have just wanted to check for free pieces in the core.
That's
just what I'm
fair.
thinking. Just from their positions and when they get the pieces, they're actually about tied up again. This is crazy. What is... Gorilla's Chase. If Ethmar gets... Dude! Ethmar's luck! This is... Why?
Ethmar is not good, just lucky.
He is good, but he is very, very lucky. Ethmar, don't... Okay, he's...
I found him.
This... I don't even know what to make of this right now. This... Is this allowed? Are we allowed to take this?
44 deathless.
Yeah, this is
I think that should be banned.
Huh? Who's there?
Whew.
What the? A ghost?
Alright, Seraphim, you need some sick, Ethmar, alright, so you need to get it. Ethmar, get the fireball skip. Right
I mean,
here.
he did get the base strikes, so that's still a little bit of time over just a regular fight. Seraphim
Oh, Seraphim going for it, let's go! He's gonna
looking
get it!
good. Just
Looks
don't
like
die.
he's gonna get it.
That's pretty good, yeah. A few
Yo,
seconds.
That is a 3 or 4 second thing.
Seraphim ain't making no sacrifices to any gods. This guy's Like, this guy's a minister. He's in the church. He doesn't do that.
Yeah, no, that's not his shtick.
And I'm not joking when I say that either.
You know, he legitimately is. Like that's an actual thing.
Ethmar has got a proper red goal of going so far, though. He even got a very lucky collision on the fist as he came down and didn't get rebounded off it. This is a fight.
What is this gonna be? Like a 20?
This is like a 20. Oh, well, now it's not.
Well, 9 more.
Yeah.
He's having some trouble holding.
Come on, Ethmar, you gotta get around. There you go. That's still respectable, though. Both these guys, I can't take this. I didn't sign up. I mean, I did sign up for this, but not this.
No.
This is all right. I mean, Eternal Engine, cycle stage as usual, and both runners expect to get first cycle for the umpteenth time across this match. The next lead changeover is potentially going to be up to the RNG once we get into Meteor Herd after this stage.
Yep.
I mean, anything can happen in Eternal Engine. Accidents have been known to occur, but I would be surprised if either runner doesn't get first cycle here. Ethmar not even going for the enemy, knowing that he was ahead of the cycle time.
This race is... It's the match point, and they're this close in Eternal Engine. What?
This guy... These guys want this. These guys really want to place in the final. I mean, obviously anyone would really want to place in the final. I certainly did. Ethmar making a bit of a mistake there, but it shouldn't be enough to kill the first cycle. As long as he has a couple of potential backup tricks up his sleeve. He can, you know, go for the Chaos Spear, as I like to call it, in the Artificial Chaos Room. He's getting a running start on that missile pad.
Most on Seraphim's side. That could have been dead.
He's going for the switch.
Oh, he did!
Oh my god, this guy. Still, he needed that as well, because he's still got a 106 check. Ethmar is pulling out all of the possible stops to make this cycle. He really needs this cycle, and he knows he needs the time save. That was actually incredibly well executed. I am actually proud of him for that.
Good job, Ethmar.
But
after the turnover!
After all that, Ethmar. That was, like, so much effort went into that Eternal Engine for Ethmar, you have no idea. And then it's just, like I say, that clip out is tricky.
Yeah. He can usually do that sometimes.
Like, you know that thing, like, you do a speed run and you put in a lot of effort to get the run. Like, you really just play to the best of your ability, and if you do it, you get the run. In SA2, you have to do that to complete a stage in good time.
Right. Oh my god, dude, that's an insane time on Seraphim's side at 2 minutes.
Alright, can't wait for Ethmar to save 20 seconds on RNG again.
I gotta do better next time.
I'll just predict Seraphim's third piece and transpose it into his mind with telepathy.
This is gonna be down to CGSS.
It is.
This match is gonna be decided by CGSS.
You're right.
Assuming, I mean, okay, like, assuming the guys are screen watching, then if there's a very small gap after that, one of them's gonna have to go for fast FR if they want to win. And Seraphim is getting a free piece in Meteor Herd. He can't get it, but he's got it.
Good piece of going. He learned from last time. That's not something that you want to deal with.
Okay.
Death. You don't want to get hit by any meteors anymore.
Big door. Ethmar could still get
time.
God,
Go.
Yeah, this is good for Seraphim.
Go Seraphim. Let's go.
If he gets middle of the rotating beacon, no. Oh, okay, yeah. This is Seraphim is going to need to make mistakes on CGSS. Oh, he has got the best variant of Dig While Watching the Moon, so it's not as bad as all that, but oh man.
It's closer.
Let's go Seraphim.
Okay.
I found it.
We need to drag Stellar in here for like 5 seconds just to make it say,
No,
let's go
that's
Seraphim,
not
and
what we
leave.
do.
It's not what we do, but we need to do it anyways. And by need to do it, I mean not do it.
This is
But
perfect.
This, wow, I just, that's my commentary right now.
And this is nuts. Beat up Rouge, stand all over her head.
Long time no see, treasure hunter.
Seraphim just needs to not lose focus now. Like, a mistake can happen on Rouge. He managed to get it just fine, which is nice, but if you just get too much into the mindset of the worst being over and you don't really need to focus or pay attention, you'd be surprised what you can make a mistake in. Ethmar actually struggling with the hits a little bit. This is looking like it's going to be a 16. Yeah, that's a 16-7-7. A little bit of time gone, but I mentioned this is the decider. This is the big test. If Seraphim pulls out another first try CGSS, then it's largely decided in Seraphim's favor. There is not really going to be much that Ethmar can do on his own to pull it back. Seraphim gets the first try CGSS. He's going back for the checkpoint because he's not taking any risks. I'm sure he intends to get it first try, but skipping on the checkpoint for the sake of saving like a second, that's a very, very brave decision. He's out first try.
Oh, Ethmar is
Ethmar's
having a lot
stuck
of
at the start of the stage.
camera.
Oh my man.
I wasted him 10 seconds.
Seraphim is perfectly in position as well. Man, okay, this is looking like game point decided in Seraphim's favor. It's potentially Eggman 2 could maybe be a massive troll. Final rush skip could cause some sort of hitherto unseen phenomenon, but this is all Seraphim's game to lose now, and it's all stuff that he knows exactly how to do. Ethmar's also in with CGSS though, but a 1 minute CG with CGSS, I'm sure Ethmar will be disappointed with that.
Yep. That was very rough.
Problem?
Very smooth Eggman over on Seraphim's side.
Yep, he didn't really have any problems there.
Going on to final rush, the final stage of the game.
So here we are. The state of play is Seraphim needs to miss fast FR skip if Ethmar is gonna win.
He's not gonna do fast
frankly,
FR, what are you on about?
It needs to miss FR skip if I misspoke, but the long and short of it is I don't see it happening.
I agree. Alright. Seraphim falling smoothly to that end. Should very much have enough height. Ethmar doing a very low bounce, actually. You don't normally see low bounce.
It's high, I think you mean. He's going as high as
okay.
possible without resetting the gravity angle. This is the old method, yeah.
Yeah, well, why do they call that low bounce, don't they?
No,
No,
you
I
go
could've
as high
sworn
as
they called that
possible
low
with that
bounce.
method.
I always remembered it being really weird that they called it low bounce, because it doesn't really look like it's low, it looks like it's high. No, whatever. But yes, very balanced. Seraphim making it right to that end at a 121.82. It's not all the way over, but he's basically there at this point.
I mean, last chance saloon here. Shadow 2 has been known to cause some problems, but odds are good that this match is going to be decided within the next 20 seconds.
Right.
All Seraphim needs to do is remember the fundamentals, the basics, not make any major chokes. It's a good start.
Nice, nice.
No,
And that's
Nice,
it.
and there it is.
That is it. The winner of this semi-final match is Seraphim. That was super closely fought.
That was insane.
Wow, that was good. That was very good. And I'm sure in a very short time we can probably expect Seraphim to be joining us in here. Maybe Ethmar will as well, I'm not sure. I'm sure he can if he wants to.
Yes.
there it is. Ethmar finishing his last run with a 37.08. It needs to be said that's still a very respectable time. Despite not taking the win, at low 37 in a race is still a really respectable time. And Ethmar did play very well throughout this match.
Sonic.
Yep.
I
Congrats
did it.
to both runners on the job that they did throughout this match.
Yep. That was insane. Actually.
So, Seraphim has accepted the invitation to join us for a bit.
Alright.
Waiting on a response from Ethmar, but we will, at any rate, be getting the winner of this match in here. There he is.
Hey.
And Ethmar's here as well.
Crap.
Hey,
Yo, Ethmar, GG's, dude.
GG Seraphim.
I don't know if you were looking at the race splits, but that desert section was insane.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, dude, we back and forth hardcore between like hidden base and death chamber. We changed leads like 3 times.
I think I saw that actually.
Oh man.
Dude,
You
that-
guys definitely put on a show just there. That was a match and a half to watch. Like I keep feeling like every time we like watch a new high level match in this tournament, it's like, oh, that was so good. That's the best match we've had yet. But like it keeps happening. Guys keep finding ways to up the ante.
Yeah. I think that rivals the ID Geek versus Seraphim race. Honestly.
It's
Oh yeah, that was a
so
good
very
race.
good. How do you guys personally like feel about how you played in general? Are you guys happy with how those games went, or are there any parts you were specifically dissatisfied with?
I think the third race could have been better. Like, I'm okay with the 37, but it definitely could have been a bit better though.
I think for me, I had a lot of more major mistakes race 1 that I wasn't super thrilled with, but I also didn't get home to do this race until about a half hour before it started, so I kind of tried to look at that and say, okay, you know what, just take it as a warm-up and just try to bounce back, which I was really proud of how race 2 went. I really think the only major thing that I was disappointed with race 3 is CE skip, which is kind of a given, and then that hidden base death was really awkward. But other than those 2 things, I felt like I played pretty well.
Yeah, honestly, dude, like your second race was actually like the second run that you did, Seraphim, was so good. Like, if it wasn't for RNG, if you had good RNG, you probably would have gotten top 3.
I don't know if I could go that far. I think if I recall, I had a couple complications in a couple other stages, but it was definitely a really strong run. I mean, getting a mid 35 is obviously something that I think I was about 40 seconds behind PB IGT that race. But yeah, I'd have to look at the RNG again to figure out how close I was.
Yeah, it was something else though. Very, very good race from both racers. So how does it feel now that you're out of the tournament, Ethmar?
You
Feels
asked the
alright.
winner that, not the loser.
Wow, what a question!
Yeah. Well, at least I get to practice Dark Story now for the next tournament.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, come August, there's potentially a cash
Yeah.
prize for that.
And that's
World
good
record
news.
holder of Dark
Yeah, the
Story.
world
making
record
bank off his
holder.
run.
Look, some people are like glad to be out, like they feel a sense of relief or something. Or,
Look,
like
look,
some
Yeah,
people.
well, we know
some
what you were
people-
trying to do, Piner.
look, Piner. All right. Here's how you do it. What? Listen, okay. Here we go.
Uh-huh.
Seraphim, how does it feel to have made it to the finals of this tournament?
It feels really good. You know, going into the tournament, I knew I was one of the stronger players, and looking at the averages in group stage and being the number 1 seed, I knew that meant that I was expected to make it to the finals, so I knew the path wouldn't be easy. Obviously, 9-Ball put up a really strong fight, same with Ethmar. I mean, that was a really close set. You know, like I did not know how race 3 was going to go until Meteor heard. At that point, I was like, man, this could go either way. But I think I'm glad I made it to the finals. I think that's where most people thought I would be. So it's good to, I guess, meet expectations, but I definitely think the next match is going to be really tough.
And conversely, I mean, I know for a fact the finals is a place where a lot of people thought I would not be, but despite that, I'm not losing, man. I'm not going to lose.
Well,
you're
you're
gonna have to play for this.
You were the number 2 seed coming out of group stage for a reason. I mean, you posted some really strong times consistently, and consistency is the key. And so I think that's going to be something you take with advantage. You know, really, this finals, if the Seraphim from race 2 and 3 shows up, that's going to be pretty tough to beat. But if the Seraphim from race 1 is there, you know, it can that won't be, they'll be a cakewalk for you then. So it really kind of depends.
We'll see. We definitely will see come game time. And just to remind everyone, the finals, unlike these matches, they are going to be a best of 5 format.
Yep.
So when that happens, you guys better, you know, grab some popcorn, get comfy, because you're going to be here for a good couple of hours.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts.
I mean, assuming I don't just get 3-0'd out the gate.
Yeah, but Seraphim, I guess, I'm trying to think of one last question to ask you, but you kind of already answered it. But
I have
how
a
are
question
you
for
feeling?
you guys, actually. You know, so race 1, my egg golem, how did I fall through the floor?
I've seen that happen before.
Is it because of where it's connected? I've never seen that.
Yes, essentially. Basically, like, it's kind of the same deal as just getting Pyramid Cave door skip. There is just a very short gap between the 2 sets of platforms, and you somehow managed to find the magic pixel there.
Yeah, apparently. I was just like, why am I in the ground right now?
Yeah,
that was really
not
weird.
a thing that you ever expect to see. Like, I think I've seen that before, but that's definitely only either the second or third time I've seen that happen to anyone.
That's something else.
What were you going to ask, Piner?
I kind of already answered this, but I guess, you know, how are you feeling about going into the finals? Like, I guess maybe tell us in a bit more detail anything specifically you're worried about.
Well, I think the biggest thing will be consistency. Obviously, Draco puts up really strong times. He may not always put up the best times, but he will consistently put up times. Like, if I can't get, I think the magic number for this race for me is a 36:30. If I can be better than 36:30, I think I have a really good chance of beating Draco in most races. But if I'm above that time, I don't know how good of a chances I will be. So it'll be, for me, it'll be just kind of practicing the race consistency, the repetition. Yeah, you know, this third race in particular was weird because there weren't really, even in the second race, there weren't really that many mistakes. Just some other weird stuff happened. So I guess going to the finals, my mentality is, you know, try and build up my consistency. I know I have the skills to beat Draco, but can I mentally put together 3 good enough runs to outdo him will be the question, or 3 to 5 runs, I should say.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do have like a question for Ethmar though, since we've been avoiding like the elephant in the room in this interview segment. What the hell was that prison
RNG,
lane?
dude!
Oh, the
prison lane!
Dude,
the prison lane!
Oh, the one, did you get a 132?
Yeah.
You got a
What the hell was that prison
I
lane,
thought
dude?
it was gonna be like a 33, and I was like, holy crap. And then I looked at the timer, and it was a 32. I was like, what?
And then game 2, what was that save in Hidden Base followed by not Hidden Base, save in Metal Harbor followed by a death?
Oh.
Like, the light dash, like, he was
was
falling off
yeah,
the edge
exactly.
on the corner of the light dash. Like, what are you, what, how?
Can we talk about this game 3 RNG though? I mean, obviously, I got an insane meteor herd, but Ethmar, just for context, I was 26 seconds ahead after Pyramid Cave, and I came out of Death Chamber 9 seconds behind you.
Wow.
So there was some good RNG in your place.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good, yeah.
It was balanced throughout, but and I'm
with
not
the prison
complaining. I
lane
didn't get
though,
a 37 meter. Anyway, go ahead.
the one thing that I was like, even like during the commentary, the thing that I was really wondering was that a gold split for you, that prison lane?
Wait, my prison lane?
Yeah.
Was that a gold split?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just, man, that was so good.
I don't even know if I've gotten a 33 before. I might have skipped it.
Wow.
Jeez. Because I got like a 137, and I looked and it said saved almost 5 seconds. I'm like, Wait, what? That's not possible. You got a 132? I was super confused.
Auto splitters,
Oh my
literally.
God. Yeah, this was definitely a race. That's all I can say. I don't know if you guys have like any closing remarks that you want to make, or anything you feel you need to mention before we sign off.
I'll just quickly say thanks again, Ethmar, for a great set. That race 3 in particular, I was smiling after I think it was like Boom Boo. I was like, man, this is a good race. And then that Golem happened, and I have not had that much fun in a race.
Yeah,
in a
that
long
was really
time.
close throughout the race.
So thank you for a great set, and congratulations. I mean, top 4 is definitely a really strong achievement. Like I was telling myself in Meteor Herd, I was like, you know, if I lose this, I'm still gonna. This was worth it because this was a darn good set of races.
Yeah.
So, are you and Dage Ethmar gonna have a gentleman's race just to see who really got 3rd and 4th?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
announce it to the world.
Hmm?
You and Dage, are you two just gonna like do a race on your own?
No, we both got 3rd.
You both
Aw.
got 3rd.
That's the spirit.
Actually, we did a race before this, and Dage was winning, and then his power went out.
Oh
Oh yeah, he couldn't watch this set because of that, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
no!
poor
that's a
Dage.
shame.
All right, that's. I think that's a good place to maybe call this. I'm not sure if Speed Gaming has anything scheduled for this channel like now, but yeah.
Yeah, thank you all for watching.
Yeah. Thank
thanks.
you all, and yeah, I think just after this is display properly. That'd be great. Nothing on Speed Gaming 2, no, but right now Wings of V tournament is going on Speed Gaming 4, I believe. So.
Well, I guess people should head over there then, because for now it is the end of Sonic Adventure 2. We don't yet have a confirmed time for the finals. That is, we've been mentioning it's between myself and Seraphim, so we'll be talking about when we're going to have that. We would preferably, I think, like to have it sooner rather than later, because I, at least, fairly soon need to start preparing for SGDQ, as I do have a run in that event.
Yeah, the latest will probably be next weekend. Would be the latest.
We'll see. I mean, I can do it throughout the week, but I'll just have to keep you posted. Either way, we will make sure to schedule it when we can, and then you guys just need to not miss that, because oof, it's gonna be so good to watch me win a tournament.
The shots are fired. I'm calling 3-1 me because I can.
Oof. We'll see. We will
It'll be
see.
fun.
Sparks are flying in the arena of this voice call. Yeah, that's gonna be it for us. Thank you all for watching.
Yeah.
Have a fantastic day, night, sleep, whatever, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, and we will see you next time.
See ya.